Now, in other news, vaccine failure is admitted as you have whooping cough outbreaks admittedly tied to children who did receive the vaccinations in question and not tied to children who were exempted from the vaccinations. Mike Adams has the report. For several years, he says national news has maintained that many vaccines actually cause the very infectious diseases they claim to prevent. Measles vaccines, for example, actually cause measles. Flu shots actually cause an increase in susceptibility to the flu. And now we have an open admission precisely to the point. He, of course, cites directly from a Reuters report where they cite a spike in cases around the Kaiser Permanente in San Rafael, the largest whooping cough outbreak in more than 50 years. And despite their expectations, it was not tied to unvaccinated kids. Instead, they were surprised that the majority of cases were in fully vaccinated children, and it caught their attention. And it goes on from there. But of course, they still tell you in the same report to take the vaccine anyway, even though they admit there's been no long-term testing for effectiveness or for safety. And they basically admit that it's not going to work in the long term. You've got other people like Alan Phillips, the attorney, who's shown where you have something like a 15% ineffective rate from vaccinated children and only a 1% kind of outbreak rate among those who refuse to get the vaccines. So all the numbers are cooked. It's just the government wants to push these vaccines on you. I really doubt they're actually that concerned about containing the disease themselves. What they want is compliance with the system. Meanwhile, compliance with the system continues to show that those in authority are the greatest dangers. That's at least if you focus on the TSA situation. Now, a screener has been caught throwing hot coffee in a pilot's face after the pilot asked her to stop using the N-word and to refrain from profanity in their conversation because of all the children around and the general professional ethics that normally would apply to almost any profession, but somehow not to TSA. So this agent became very upset when pilot Steve Trivet began to lecture him and threw the coffee. Letitia L. was reportedly arrested and charged with harassment and misdemeanor assault. And it just goes on with the larger God complex of the TSA agents who think that a uniform gives them power, that they're personally charged with this rush of energy, and that the uniform they wear doesn't just reflect an overbearing system. You know how that story goes. Rape cases, stealing from luggage, smuggling drugs, child kidnapping, trafficking, and all the rest of it. Scalding reply at JFK was the headline in the New York Post. That's an interesting headline.